Hey everyone, Austin Wallace back with AW Reviews. Thank you guys for the return to the channel. Hope you guys have had an amazing weekend and a good Sunday. Today's video is about my newest upgrades I've done to the truck. And pretty hard not to see what I've done aesthetically wise for the front of the truck. So, long story short, front headlights have been changed, rear taillights have been changed, as well as the third brake light. But before we get into that, I also want to bring up the point. The last video I put out a couple months ago was on my Flowmaster Flow FX exhaust, and I was really actually surprised about the views and the feedback I've gotten in that video. I've got amazing feedback on that video for quite a few weeks now since I've dropped it, from a lot of various people saying, you know, they like the sound or they want to do something similar, and I would just beyond happy to hear that. Like I mentioned in that video, when I filmed it, I hadn't really found a video showing that specific muffler on this specific truck and engine, which is why I created that one, so I was able to show people what it sounded like with the resonator delete. And eventually I'm going to put out a video of me doing a couple flybys, and revs and stuff like that. Also in that video with the revs, we'll be showcasing the VTA mod, which I've done, the vent atmosphere mod, which is also, that little whoosh sound that you get after you're done hitting the rev mark. So, that happens while driving as well. But that'll be in a later video. But again, really happy with the feedback that's been on that video, and you guys, who have subscribed, or just guys who have watched that video, have just been awesome. So shout out to all you guys for sure. But yeah, so today's video, like I said, pretty hard not to show off these bad boys. So front and back, I ended up going with the Anzo LED Headlights and Taillights. And then I can't remember the exact name of the third brake light. It was around a $39 third brake light that I got off of Amazon. These Anzos I got off of Amazon as well, so everything was through Amazon. So yeah, I've had these bad boys in for about a month now. They've just been absolutely awesome. And what I did at the time of installation as well, is I was actually able to convert and move over my H11 C-Light LED bulbs out of my stock halogen housings that I previously had, and I was able to move them and retrofit them to be able to fit in these new projector style housings. Because when you first get these headlights, yes, you have the white DRL strip, which is nice, but the housings actually come with a halogen H7 bulb. So it was kind of a pain in the ass, not gonna lie, to move the LEDs over with the ballast on the back, which is kind of like the heat dissipator. So, and these housings, I was kind of misled. I thought they were the standard, you kind of play the shape game, put the bulb in, turn to lock it in place, but these housings aren't. So they actually have this metal retainer clip that kind of flips over this little spring. So I actually had to remove those, bend them a certain way to be able to make them fit around the H11 bulbs, and then put them in the housings and lock them down. So I was able to do it. It was very, very time consuming. Probably took me 3 or 4 hours to do all 4 bulbs. So it was definitely a time killer for sure. But the actual installation of these headlights was super simple. Taking everything apart, super simple. Putting everything back in, super simple. I was very, very impressed with the actual fitment of these lights. Honestly, they, in terms of lines and fitment, they almost fit better than the factory ones do. They really fell into place really nicely. So yeah, I've been absolutely happy with them. So I have the keys here. Turn them on so you can see what they look like. They're a pretty standardized light. I know a lot of guys who have these trucks run these lights or something similar. Don't get me wrong, the ones everyone wants and the ones I wanted were the Morimitos, if that's how you say it. I just don't think spending $1,500 to $1,700 is the right way to go in terms of headlights. These ran me about $450, and they're the same function, same purpose, and being that I was able to use my old LED bulbs, they work just fine for me. So I'll leave that as an opinion, but that is what I think is the best way to go in terms of money and putting it towards other things that I will be upgrading in this truck in the future. Without further ado, this is what they look like. So they are absolutely badass. Completely changed the front of the truck. Super happy with actual quality and brightness of the white strip, as well as the turn signal bulbs. So these ones aren't the switchbacks. I'd read reviews on the switchbacks saying that being that the white DRL strip lit up every time you turn the signal light on orange, that the white strip would actually wear out over time, and customers are complaining of the white strip burning out earlier. So I actually just ended up going with the standard DRL, so that white light's always on, and then obviously, you know, you just have the standard turn signal bulb, which is fine for me. Give you a wrap around here. Just can't get over how much it changed the front of the truck. They just look so killer. And then if you guys have been paying attention compared to my other videos, you would also notice that I changed up my Ford badges as well. So if you had previously remembered, I had blacked out the whole entire inner oval, left the chrome ring, and I ended up changing these after I did another kind of custom painting, you can call it. And I actually blacked out the EcoBoost badges. So obviously, you know, you've seen the regular EcoBoost badges. They're your typical, you know, silver and green and blue leaf. You got your green Eco, blue Boost. And I'm like, you know what? Nothing on this truck is green and blue. So I actually masked that all off, cut out each letter individually with an X-Acto knife. Very, very tedious process, took hours, and then painted over the whole thing with the standard black spray paint. So each badge took me about, like I said, 2 to 3 hours, so it was a 6-hour job just for these tiny badges. So I'm like, you know what, if I can tackle something that small, I can revisit the project of doing these ovals. So I did, and now that I took my time with them, they turned out awesome. So these ovals are actually plasti dipped. So like I said, obviously I cut out the main letters, sprayed everything else. And so that's around 3 or 4 coats of regular plasti dip and around 3 or 4 coats of plasti dip sealant to protect from this Texas heat and Texas sun. And like I said, I've had them like this for about a month. I mean, the way they were before they were lasted, they're obviously lasting now. So, and again, just ties the whole front of the truck together. Next upgrade, yes, I know, is getting those plates blacked out. I'll be ordering black plates probably within the next 6 or 7 months, whenever kind of my term comes up to renew my plates. So that'll be next for sure, because kind of an eyesore being it's so white when nothing else in this truck is white. But again, that will be down the road. They just look awesome. But yeah, so between the front badge, side badges, and headlights, let's move to the back and show you the Anzo taillights. Here they are. Again, super happy with these taillights. Install was, again, seamless. They're plug and play. Super, super easy to install. And what's cool about these guys is that they have the full LED red strip, which I just love because it makes it look like the Lariat or the Raptors. And then this is your reverse housing in here. And then this is your brake housing. And then what's cool about these guys is that they're also sequential. So they even actually work with your lock and unlock. So if I unlock the truck, it actually plays the sequential turn. So it's a little hard to see in the sun right now, I apologize for that, but every time I press the unlock. So that's basically what it looks like when you have your signal light on constantly, just like a Mustang. So super, super cool. And obviously you can see that illuminated LED strip there, and it just looks killer. Really wish I was taking this video at night. I'll have to do one in the future because these lights at night just look unbelievably cool for sure. There's the rear oval there. Same as the front. And then there's the left tail light. Again, super, super happy with them. Again, had them over for a month now. And again, no moisture issues, nothing of the sort, no problems of any kind, no hyper flash, nothing like that. They've just been super, super solid. I have no complaints with them. And then lastly is the third brake light. Again, I apologize for the brightness of the sun. I can't stop that here in Texas. So you can see a little bit of the reverse light bulbs being on right now, or cargo bulbs, whatever you want to call them. Super, super hard to see in the sun right now, but they are on. There you go, there's a better view. And then there's a middle bar in the middle that illuminates like this when you turn the brake light on. So again, I can't remember the name of that one. I'll try to put it in the description. Again, it was a standard light off of Amazon. It had a really good I think it was around a 4.4, 4.5 star review, whereas the other ones were like a, you know, 3.2, 3.3, and they were only like 15, 16 bucks. So I went a little bit pricier, but so far the quality's been really good. So yeah, that's basically the main and latest upgrades I've done to the truck. Not sure if I had it in my last video, but I also did install rear wheel well liners. That was probably 2 or 3 months ago. They're a little dirty right now. I obviously didn't detail those good enough today. But super big help. I don't know why these trucks don't come with these stock. I really don't know why. They definitely should, because they obviously protect the body and everything else that's in there from rocks and mud and everything else. So super happy with those. I got them directly from Ford, so they're a direct fit. So yeah, they've been great. Head back to the front here. Man, absolutely love the look of those lights. So the last thing I'm gonna show you guys is what it actually looks like with them on. Alright, so this is what they look like with the low beams on. Nestled in the projector housing. Again, it is extremely bright out right now, but that's what they look like. Man, just makes the front of that truck look sick. Super cool. Just, again, that white DRL strip just really completes it. Just makes it look so cool. But yeah, again, I've had 0 issues with them so far, at least. No moisture issues, no hyperflash, no, you know, no bulbs burning out. Nothing's wrong. Everything's been superb with them. So the last thing I will mention, and I actually found out probably about 2 weeks ago, is when I put these headlights in, I had the idea in my head and thought that every day I was driving this truck that white DRL strip is always illuminated. That wasn't the case. I pulled up to my local gym, which the whole front of that building is glass, and I pulled it up on a regular sunny day and looked in the reflection, because who doesn't want to look at your truck and their vehicle in the reflection after you get lights done? And I noticed that the whole entire DRL strip wasn't illuminated. The only thing that was illuminated was that low beam bulb. And I'm like, well, I don't want the low beam bulb illuminated, I just want the white strip illuminated, and that's it. Well, after looking into multiple threads, the only way to do that is through Forscan. Well, luckily I do have Forscan and I've used it before. Last time I used it, I actually reprogrammed the BCM to update my current tire size, and there's tons of detailed YouTube videos explaining how to do that. It's very simple. You basically go in through Forscan, go into your BCM, and you find a specific or a couple specific lines of code. You change maybe 2 or 3 digits, let the truck write them, and you relearn them, and the truck will play a chime that, you know, will basically say that it's accepted the new code. You cycle the key on and off, and now it's programmed into the system. So, you know, when you go to a bigger tire, smaller tire, different rim size, basically when you change any dimension, it's going to throw your speedometer off. And so when I first got this lift and tires and everything put on, I think I was off by 3 or 4 miles an hour, which to most people isn't a big thing. For me it is, being that I like things to be particular. So I reprogrammed the tire size, made it to where I can recognize, you know, a 33, 34, and now my speedometer is maybe off by half a mile an hour, 0.5, 0.4, so it's almost perfect. And so being that I have Forscan, I've found another great YouTube video, which in this video or in the description, I will have a post-it basically showing the lines of code that you need to access through Forscan and the actual digits that you need to alter to be able to have whatever setting you need. There's actually a couple you can do. You can have it where you can, like I said, just have the low beam on, which shouldn't be a problem because that's what it is from the factory. You can have it, I believe, where just the white strip is illuminated and nothing else. You can have it just where your park lights are illuminated and nothing else. Or you can have it, the whole entire thing's illuminated, where it'd be high beams, low beams, and everything else. But I wouldn't recommend that because you're probably going to get flash lots if you have LEDs like I do. So I wanted it set to me, it was on the coolest setting where you can have the whole entire white LED strip lit up and your park lights at the same time, and then keep the low beam and high beam off, because to me, in my mind, that saves the life of the bulbs. I'd rather have this strip go out because it's Anzo continue replacement rather than my bulbs go out, which are the most important things to see at night. So that's the actual lines of code I changed to be able to have that setting. So now it doesn't matter if it's sunny out, dark out, cloudy out, it doesn't matter. Anytime I turn this truck on during the day when the actual bulbs aren't needed, that DRL strip is constantly illuminated, which just looks awesome. And basically it looks like it is right now, just without the bulbs on. So like I said, I will have that either in post-it in this video or in the description showing the lines of code to do all the things I just mentioned. So that way you guys can go in, if you have access to Forscan, find those lines of code, change those couple digits, and you'll be good to go. So yeah guys, I'm basically going to end off on that note. Just wanted to do a quick update on the old truck and show you how the build is coming along. So really hope you guys can leave a like and subscribe if you're liking the content. There's a lot more to come for this truck, and I will see you all next time. Thanks.